Great. So I guess I'm between now and team. What I'm going to do is, we had all the eminent guests and panelists today who talked a lot about data. What challenges, what benefits it can derive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take not more than 10 minutes of your time and focus more on the experiences, on the projects that SAS has delivered, using data as an asset, and what are the challenges that we faced, and how has these large organizations like government bodies that I'm going to refer to have been able to benefit and reap value. Okay. So we're going to talk a lot about data. Let's hear about what data is in the news right now. These are some of the quotes from some leading professionals all around India and the world, where we're talking about, Indian data management reporting needs to improve. Up to 40% of the data of all projects that they take initiatives are fail because of poor data quality. Okay. Some of these initiatives have been very, we all know that, right? We all know that if the garbage in is garbage out. The point we are trying to emphasize is, what's the importance of data management? What are the critical business drivers that one needs to consider while embarking upon any project that they are, whether it's a data governance, or master data management, a BI, any kind of journey, right? Some of these key articles that that I've put up, what makes me believe are the important business drivers that we need to focus on. Three critical business drivers from a data management, information management perspective are data consolidation, quality, and information asset. From a data consolidation standpoint, it's about where the data is coming from. What's the security of data? There is so much data that is there in a government organization in various departments. The challenge that the departments are facing is, how do I consolidate and create a master hub, a master record of truth, right? Because of this business critical driver, the impact has been not being able to decipher information about that particular citizen. Data quality, from a data consolidation standpoint, the three areas from a perspective of integration with multiple data sources, creating a single version of truth, and then automating it to make optimized decisions. That's what data consolidation from a critical business driver perspective. Next being data quality. Right? We all know there has been inconsistency, duplicates. There are challenges in terms of data being spelled. We had a gentleman stating about the challenges he was facing in the examination center. Right? People giving names on different information of middle name, without middle name, family name shortcut, all those kinds of abbreviations. The idea is to have a single view by using the standardization of Indian data through Indian quality locales that are very important from a strategic aspect, right? Next being the area of information as an asset. As Imam was talking about, if your data foundation, data management is in place, there are a lot of business initiatives that can be driven, that can be achieved. In terms of prevention of fraud, we've seen people having multiple Aadhaar IDs for the same individual. All of these frauds, making better business decisions, making sure delivery of the public distribution system that each government runs happens in a more accurate, informed way. In order to cater to these three areas, SAS has designed, working with various government organizations in India as well as around the world, a framework around data management. This is what the framework service is all about, right? It's the data management perspective for integrating with any data, whether it's through APIs, through databases, through data governance programs, master data management, enterprise service engines, more importantly, the big data, right? I know we've had multiple discussions, round of information that was shared. Just to give you a perspective, we can do a lot of analysis, visual analytics, but the most important is to have your big data in place. There needs to be a data management strategy. Over and above the analytics and visualization that SAS has to offer, there are data management capabilities in terms of Hadoop, in terms of enterprise service bus, in terms of integrating with enterprise service engines. We have processes from a governance standpoint, event stream processing, All of these modules are part of a large data management framework. Okay. I'm going to quickly run through some of these. I know I just have less than 6 minutes of time. Some of these it may resonate. ETL, from the data management framework of SAS has capabilities from a change data capture, ELT, ETL, quality, standardization of data, Indian locale, single view. All of these capabilities exist. Master data management, governance, creating monitoring policies, having dashboards, workflows. All of these capabilities from a data management perspective are part of the framework that has been built by working with large government organizations like yours. The important aspect from a SAS perspective is it has been able to test waters of Indian geography from a scalability standpoint. We have organizations in India who have been able to use data management services for a customer base of 150 million records. It does integration on a real-time basis through web services. It does data management through large appliances, large databases. The scalability aspect has been very, very well articulated and framed as a part of the data management exercise. Right? From a strategic approach standpoint, the idea is, we all know, and it's there in anywhere that you read in magazines and large industry validations, 80% of the data time on a project is spent on data consolidation and 20% on actually solving the problem. The idea is now to move and have frameworks like SAS to kind of cater to help 20% of the time being on data management, 50% on solving the problem, and the remaining 30% is to innovate, have business analysts do a lot of modeling, a lot of visualization to gather more information of the existing data. Okay. The three-step approach from a SAS perspective is identify the citizen, know your citizen, treat the citizen. That's what the approach is all about. In terms of the case studies, right? I'm going to have two large case studies that I've personally been there as a part of delivering these projects for the customers. Are a very large government organization where typical challenges that we faced, data not being standardized, the data was not compliant to e-governance standards, duplicates existing within the various schemes that the government organizations and the departments were running, and then the schemes data had to be integrated with the UID data. It's a very common statement that we hear from a large organizations that are enrolling into the direct benefit transfer scheme. So we have a government organization who's implemented it, who's reaped benefits out of this. The typical benefits have been in the area of SAS being able to integrate from a scalability standpoint, having a locale which treats Indian demographic data to create single view, to create standardized data. Right? I'm not going to go into all these details. The key highlights of this case study has been standardization of data, compliance to e-governance standards, as well as creating a single view of a citizen. What you're seeing right now are some of the examples from picture standpoint, right? These are some of my pictures, where I have been giving information about the same, my name being there in different formats, with landmark information and data and address, with my phone numbers being there with some demographic information. How these same individual with 4 different kind of demographics data, right? And that's why we need a fuzzy matching. We need a master data hub to be created, and that's what SAS framework is all about, where an Indian locale has been there to create a master data, a master hub where data from the LPG, voter, Aadhaar, or various other sources have been integrated, created a single master data hub. We can do that for various different entities, not just customer or citizen, but it could be any master data, whether it's products, locality, vendor, supplier, and likes of these. A second case study that I want to refer to is in terms of a large sales tax department. We had Imam talked about some pretty interesting cases that he's seen from the UK customer, and I want to correlate to some of them which has already been done in a large sales tax organization in India, right? Some of the key challenges that were faced by the sales stack organization is there were dealers dealing in the same commodity having different PIN numbers. Well, the challenge that the department was facing, they were not being able to integrate this data which was lying in multiple data sources. At the same time, because of the dealers being smartly providing information with some slight of variations of typographic information, there were significant revenue leakage. Using the SAS framework, we've been able to provide, bridge the gap that the sales department was facing, and there have been significant improvement in policy making decisions. Primarily the area of what should be the commodity tax liability, a VAT percentage that should be adhered to the dealers, now having a single view of a dealer, right? Next being unregistered dealers, one classic case that Iman mentioned. The department was not being able to identify who are the people, who are the dealers who are not registered with us, right? Taking electricity consumption data, mapping it, matching it, fuzzing it with the dealer information that the department had, we've been able to identify dealers that were not registered, and by virtue of which there was a large expansion of taxpayer base, a significant return on investment that sales tax department could gather. There are, and I'm sure that you would be hearing about, is circular trading happening just on paper base, but no actual commodities being transferred or no kind of investment happening. There have been circular trade and linear trade. Using SAS analytic technologies, we were being able to identify those, help timely fraud prevention, and thereby reducing the operational expenditure, right? Consistent revenue forecasting was a challenge for the department. All of the forecasting on what should be my forecasted value for a taxpayer base that I need to go by each commodity year on year was just on gut feel. Having the historical data for the last 8 years, using SAS analytical forecasting capabilities, we were being able to identify by each commodity for a specific region what should be the forecasted tax collected. A lot of economical parameters, historical data, all of these were correlated to come up with these forecasting. So now the system is more proactive rather than reacting at this large sales tax department. Okay. Before I end this session, we all understand data is an information asset. The question we need to ask everybody is, where is your data? What is your journey? Where do you reside as far as your data journey is concerned? So from here, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate. Maybe if you want to have some questions over the tea outside, that's something that can work out.